Is the love of money the root of all evil? Well, there is one thing for a certain fact. We cannot have love of money. It is dangerous, it is destructive to one's own physical and spiritual self. Do not do it. Even if someone was to deny that sort of stuff, it would still be idolatry because of the fact that we are saying that we would be worshiping money and not God. So, yeah, there is a Bible verse stating that the love of money is the root of all evil, as you see on screen, and here's one stating that we cannot serve both God and mammon. Mammon is physical objects. As you may know in other translations of, or the other versions, it would say you cannot serve both God and money, but mammon's way more accurate because it implies of any physical object instead of just simply, money. Now, considering the fact that the love of money is being deemed as the root of all evil, does that make sense in a broad sense? The answer is no, because we know that sin itself would be the root of all evil, especially since we have the curse of sin. And since the curse of sin is a way bigger situation because it involves everything in our lives, but yet money is only of a certain part, that means that the verse that we see here must mean something else. And it seems that based on it, the love of money is a root for anyone who has money as an issue. So, obviously, if the love of money is the root of all evil, it has to be based on a very specification into which we may not have a correct translation because of other passages. It seems to be a root, and obviously, if they're saying if it's based on money itself, could it actually be the root? And the answer is no. There is a sin. Like, if we say that sin is the root of all evil, yes, that's true, but it's vague. So, what exactly? If the love of money is a root of certain evil because of the fact of the condition, remember, never love money because it's idolatry, but it's just not powerful enough to be the root of all evil. There's something way worse. What would that be? What would be the root of all evil? Well, we can look all the way to Genesis 3. Now, as you may know, people are going to claim that Eve eating the forbidden fruit is the first sin ever committed. But that's the first sin that was easily mentioned. Now, people are going to say, but wait, individual. God said, or God only gave one rule to them, stating that they should not eat the forbidden fruit. So if it's the only rule, it could be the only sin committed. But yet, the existence of theft could happen, the existence of the sorts of lies, such as the serpent, can exist. Obviously, not going to do it because they don't desire to, but the fact that that concept does exist is the problem, especially if there's no intention. So, what does this mean? Well, what this means is pretty simple. The first sin that was ever committed had to be when the serpent was making, false information. I'm not saying the serpent is the first sinner because this is based on humans we're talking about. Eve did something before eating the forbidden fruit. And the book of Genesis, in Genesis 3, proves this. Now, based on the fact that if I do give out the answer of what it is, people may misunderstand because they may believe in a false definition. And I'll be honest with you, most people do not have the correct definition. And I may have I will go over that later on, but here's the short version of it for now. As you can see in Genesis 3, let me try to find out which one it was. There it is. Yes, Genesis 3 verse 6. She, after listening to the lie of the serpent, she looks at the fruit and has these certain somewhat reasons of why she would eat it. Of course, the serpent saying so would be another one, or being based on hearing what he said. But notice that all of this is a false belief held by unsubstantial truth. It does look good, but the thing is that that's not relevant. You shouldn't eat it regardless. That's the big thing. She has a false belief held by unsubstantial truth, and that would be known as an opinion. An opinion, having opinions is the root of all evil because they're the source of our minds about how we commit sin. And I will be having a video on that later on, sometime in the future, explaining just that. So everyone, thank you so much for listening to this. Stay tuned. I hope that everything is going to work well. I hope that I explained this thoroughly, and I will have an extension to this in the future. So Thank you.